The person you can't stop thinking about genuinely cares about you. Even if everything between you feels unclear, mixed, or hard to interpret right now, there is a deeper reason this individual keeps resurfacing in your thoughts again and again. It is not random or accidental. It is not happening only because you are bored, lonely, or emotionally sensitive at this moment. Something meaningful is keeping this connection active within your inner world and daily emotions. This person appears in your mind for a reason. Even when you make no conscious effort to think about them, they still show up during quiet moments when the noise of life fades and your mind finally relaxes. They surface in the small gaps between your usual thoughts, in those brief seconds before sleep when your defenses are completely lowered. At times, they appear without warning in the middle of an ordinary day, while you are engaged in normal routines. You could be working, speaking with someone, laughing with friends, or feeling calm, and suddenly, their face enters your mind without invitation. Their voice, their smile, or a memory connected to them rises naturally without force. It happens smoothly, on its own. You may have tried many times to push these thoughts away. You may have told yourself it is time to move on and that thinking about them no longer serves any useful purpose in your life. You may have reminded yourself of the confusion, the distance, or the silence that exists between you. At moments, you may have even doubted your own thoughts seriously. You may have questioned whether you are imagining something that isn't truly there, or holding on to hope without solid foundation. You may have wondered why they still matter so much when nothing feels clear or settled between you. Yet despite all attempts to distract yourself, they continue returning to your mind consistently. Even when you tell yourself you are completely done, even when you feel strong for a while, they remain quietly present within you. This is not a coincidence, and it does not mean anything is wrong with you. It does not suggest you are stuck or unable to let go. It suggests there is a bond that has not been fully resolved in your shared emotional story. It indicates that something emotional still exists between you, whether spoken or unspoken. Connections like this are not formed purely through logic or planning. They are not controlled by willpower alone, no matter how strong it feels. They develop at a deeper level, where memory, emotion, and meaning intertwine over time. When someone keeps appearing in your thoughts without effort, it often suggests unfinished emotional energy still exists between both people. Something was felt deeply, even if it was never fully expressed in words or actions. Something was shared, even if it was never clearly defined or labeled. This person may also be thinking about you, even if they are not reaching out or openly expressing it. Thoughts are not always transferred through messages or spoken language. Feelings do not always appear through direct action. Sometimes people hold emotions quietly within themselves because they are unsure what to do with them. They may feel overwhelmed, uncertain, or afraid of the future. They may not know how to act on what they feel, so they keep it inside for now. But silence does not mean absence of emotion. You may sense them unexpectedly throughout your day or night. You might feel sudden emotional waves, such as warmth, sadness, or longing without clear reason. You may feel connected, even across emotional or physical distance. This is not simply imagination playing tricks on you. Strong emotional bonds often operate beneath conscious awareness in ways that are difficult to explain. They do not always follow logical rules or predictable timelines. They exist quietly, while influencing your thoughts and emotions in subtle ways. You are not weak for experiencing this. You are simply human, experiencing emotion in its natural depth. Caring deeply does not disappear just because you decide mentally that it should. The heart does not move on instantly just because the mind tries to. When something meaningful touches you, it leaves a lasting imprint, and that imprint remains until it is understood, healed, or transformed over time. This connection does not mean you should wait endlessly or neglect your own growth and needs. It only means what you felt was real and significant. It means the bond mattered within your life experience. Confusion does not cancel emotion. Silence does not erase what once existed. Distance does not always mean emotional absence. Sometimes it reflects fear, uncertainty, or internal struggle on the other side. You may never receive clear answers, or you might receive them unexpectedly one day. Regardless, your experience remains valid. The thoughts you have are not meaningless. The emotions you feel are not random. They are part of a story that affected you deeply and changed something within you. If this person continues to live in your thoughts, it is because something between you remains unresolved. That does not mean it must continue forever in the same way. It simply means it mattered. And what truly matters often takes time to settle within the heart. Being gentle with yourself during this process is important. Do not judge your thoughts harshly or rush yourself into emotional closure. Understanding develops gradually. Sometimes the purpose of a connection is not permanence, but transformation. It teaches lessons, shapes emotional depth, and reveals your capacity to feel. Even in confusion and silence, that connection holds meaning. When someone occupies your thoughts so consistently over time, it often suggests the emotional thread between you is still active in some form. Even if communication has stopped, even if circumstances separated you, and even if silence has lasted longer than expected, your mind is not holding on to something without reason. There is often a sense of unfinished emotional resolution. Human beings are not typically disturbed by what feels complete. They are disturbed by what feels open, unclear, or emotionally unresolved. You may notice you think of them when something good happens, when you want to share joy, or when something meaningful occurs in your day. You imagine telling them small details of life because, although simple, they feel emotionally significant. You may wonder about them even when your own life is busy and full. Sometimes you feel a pull, not just toward their physical presence, but toward their emotional world, their inner experience, and their energy. This kind of pull can happen when two people become emotionally attuned, even across distance and silence. What many do not realize is that emotional bonds do not disappear simply because communication ends. Silence does not erase connection. Distance does not cancel emotional attachment built over time. When two people connect deeply, that bond leaves an imprint on the subconscious mind. The subconscious does not function on strict logic or time boundaries. It works through emotion, meaning, and unresolved experiences. If you are still thinking about them, part of you recognizes that the story does not feel fully complete yet. This also explains why the connection feels confusing. Simple love often settles clearly over time. Love that feels uncertain, delayed, or distant often exists between fear and desire. One or both people may be afraid of vulnerability, change, or emotional pain. Fear does not remove love. It delays it, hides it, or creates distance where closeness is desired. You may wonder why, if feelings exist, no action has been taken. Many people feel deeply but struggle to express it. Some individuals are emotionally guarded due to past experiences. Others carry unresolved emotional wounds that still influence their behavior and choices. Some are caught between responsibility and desire in their present lives. Some feel undeserving of the love they experience, and some believe they must first fix themselves before allowing closeness again. The mind frequently returns to what the heart cannot easily resolve. This is why they appear in your thoughts during moments of calm, when you are quiet, or when you are emotionally open without distractions. At night, when all distractions fade away, the unconscious mind speaks more clearly than during busy hours. During the day, when your awareness relaxes and your guard is lowered, the same natural process happens without effort or force. These thoughts arise on their own, without conscious invitation, as if emerging from deeper emotional layers within you. There is something else happening beneath the surface as well. When these memories appear and you think about them, you are not only thinking about who they are as a person, you are also reflecting on who you were at the time when you felt connected to them in meaningful and special ways. Certain individuals awaken parts of us that remained dormant with others before. They mirror something within us that feels familiar, alive, or deeply significant. Losing access to that reflection can feel like losing a part of yourself temporarily. This is why longing can feel deeper than simple attraction alone. Distance between two people who care for each other often exists not because love is absent, but because timing, fear, or inner conflict stands in the way for the moment. You may feel that something is preventing both of you from moving closer. That sense is usually accurate and worth noticing carefully. When emotions remain active without resolution, the psyche tends to keep the connection alive until understanding or closure is reached. You may also experience emotional fluctuations from time to time. One day you feel strong and detached, and the next day a small reminder brings everything back with intensity. This emotional rise and fall is natural and part of the process. It reflects the way your conscious mind tries to protect you while your emotional mind continues to stay connected underneath. These two layers do not always align perfectly with each other, which creates inner conflict. Healing does not mean forcing yourself to forget everything completely. It means understanding why the bond exists and what it is asking of you at this stage of your life. Sometimes the connection remains because there is an important lesson attached to it. Sometimes it remains because communication has not fully reached its conclusion. Sometimes it remains because both individuals are gradually moving toward the same emotional understanding, even if they are not ready at the same time. Emotional timing in life is rarely perfectly synchronized. If you feel that they love you but remain distant, it is often because they are facing their own internal struggle. They may feel the same pull toward you that you feel toward them. They may think about you more often than you realize. They may wonder whether you still care for them as well. But instead of stepping forward, they hesitate due to multiple internal reasons. This hesitation often comes from fear of loss, fear of rejection, or fear of sudden changes in their current life situation. Love does not always express itself through grand gestures or loud declarations. Sometimes it exists in silence, caution, and careful observation. Sometimes it waits patiently for the right moment. Sometimes it stays hidden behind restraint, hoping for safer timing to emerge. The absence of action does not always indicate absence of feeling on their side. What matters most right now is not attempting to control the final outcome. It is understanding what this connection is revealing about your own growth and emotional awareness. It may be teaching patience in ways that are difficult but meaningful. It may be guiding you towards self-worth and inner strength. It may be encouraging you to stop chasing and start trusting the natural flow of events. Or it may be preparing you to receive clarity when the right time arrives. Whether that clarity comes through reunion or gentle release, you are not foolish for feeling this way. You are not weak for thinking about them so often. You are responding to a bond that exists beyond surface-level logic and simple explanations. The mind attempts to rationalize it, but the heart recognizes it instantly as something real. When something truly matters in life, it does not fade quickly or easily. If they love you and distance still exists, it may simply mean that time and inner growth are working quietly behind the scenes in both of you. Comment heart if this message resonates with what you are feeling right now. Connections like this often unfold slowly because they carry depth and significance. Depth requires readiness, and readiness cannot be rushed. Allow thoughts to come and go without harsh judgment. Do not force meaning onto them, but also do not dismiss them too quickly. Pay attention to the emotions that arise when they appear in your mind, whether calmness, sadness, warmth, longing, or hope, because each carries information. Your emotions are communicating with you clearly in these moments. Remember this truth. What is meant for you does not require constant struggle or emotional pain. It may require patience, but it will not demand that you abandon yourself or your needs. Whether this connection evolves into something tangible or gradually fades over time, it is shaping you in ways that are not yet fully visible. And if one day the distance closes naturally, it will be because both of you have reached a place of readiness without fear interfering. Until then, trust that what you are experiencing holds meaning, even if that meaning is not fully clear yet. When you find yourself thinking about someone repeatedly, from morning to night, there is often an unseen emotional thread continuing beneath everyday life. Many times, they may also be thinking about you, even if they never express it or fully acknowledge it to themselves. Yes, they may still care deeply for you, even if those words have never been spoken openly between you. Love does not always appear in obvious or direct ways. It does not always arrive through confident actions or clear decisions. Sometimes it shows itself through silence, restraint, and waiting for better timing. Sometimes it hides behind hesitation to protect what feels valuable. The person you cannot stop thinking about may feel a strong emotional bond toward you, one that is steady and constant inside them. However, feeling love does not always mean they are ready to act immediately. Readiness and love are not always the same thing. Someone can love deeply and still feel unable to move forward due to personal circumstances. They may feel unworthy of you, as if you are too kind, too complete, or too emotionally grounded for them at this stage. They may fear hurting you because they understand how delicate the connection feels. They may believe the timing is wrong, that life is complicated right now, or that circumstances are not aligned. They may still carry emotional wounds from past relationships, disappointments, or losses that were never fully healed. These experiences quietly influence their behavior and decisions. They may fear that getting closer could result in losing you in some form. So instead of moving forward openly, they hold back with caution. Instead of reaching out, they hesitate carefully. Instead of expressing their feelings, they keep them inside for emotional safety. This is not because their feelings are weak. It is because their feelings are strong enough to overwhelm them. When emotions are shallow, people act without hesitation. When emotions are light, people take risks easily. But when love runs deep, people become careful, reflective, and sometimes hesitant. Fear begins to influence their thoughts and decisions. Drop a heart if you sense they are thinking about you too, even while holding back. When love is casual, people act freely without overthinking. They message without fear. They speak without hesitation. They move forward without worrying too much about consequences. But when love feels meaningful and potentially life-changing, people naturally slow down. They become aware of responsibility, emotional impact, and possible outcomes. They begin to protect not only themselves, but also the person they care about. Many people wonder why distance can exist even when strong emotions are present. This distance is not caused by lack of feeling. It is created by internal conflict. On one side, they feel strong emotional connection and presence. On the other side, they feel fear, pressure, doubt, and responsibility pulling them away. These opposing forces create tension within them. They may repeatedly ask themselves difficult questions about the future. What if I cannot give them what they deserve? What if I disappoint them? What if I ruin something meaningful between us? What if I am not healed enough yet? What if my past wounds affect this connection? What if things become more complicated instead of better? What if I lose control of my emotions? What if I lose them completely because of my fears? These thoughts do not come from indifference. They come from deep care and awareness that love carries emotional weight and consequence.